It began like any ordinary Florida afternoon, a bright sun overhead, the heavy scent of water and grass in the air. Richard Wilbanks, a retiree with an easy smile, took his beloved dog Gunner out for their daily stroll. Gunner, still a puppy, bounded alongside Richard, sniffing every blade of grass with wide-eyed curiosity. For them, this ritual was a cherished piece of peace in a sometimes chaotic world. But peace can be shattered in an instant. As Richard and Gunner walked near the edge of a pond, the calm surface suddenly erupted. In a flash of motion, an alligator burst from the water, jaws wide, teeth glinting in the sunlight. Before Richard could even process what was happening, the gator lunged forward and clamped its powerful jaws around little Gunner, dragging the helpless puppy toward the murky depths. Time seemed to freeze, but instinct took over. Richard did not think, he simply acted. With a shout, he hurled himself into the water after the alligator. Adrenaline surged through his veins, drowning out every other thought except one: save Gunner. The pond water was cold and the struggle was chaos. Richard's hands plunged into the water, grabbing at the alligator. He could feel the gator's rough scales, the raw strength of its jaws. But Richard was relentless. With bare hands fueled by sheer determination and love, he pried open the alligator's mouth. The animal thrashed and snapped, refusing to give up its prize. But Richard's grip did not loosen. Somehow, maybe it was luck. Maybe it was the power of love. Richard managed to wrench the gator's jaws apart just enough for Gunner to wriggle free. The little dog, wet and trembling, shot out of the gator's grip and scrambled up the bank. For a brief, terrifying moment, it was unclear if either of them would make it out. But Gunner was safe. Richard, however, was not unscathed. His hands were torn and bleeding, the skin shredded by the alligator's sharp teeth. Each movement sent waves of pain shooting up his arms, but Richard hardly noticed. All that mattered was that Gunner was alive. Once the immediate danger had passed, Richard and Gunner retreated from the water's edge. They both shook with adrenaline. Man and dog, survivor and survivor. Gunner, plucky as ever, quickly bounced back. Within days, the puppy was playing and wagging his tail as if nothing had happened, showing only a tiny puncture, wound as evidence of his ordeal. For Richard, the memory would linger much longer. The sight of his little companion in the jaws of a wild predator haunted his thoughts, a reminder that nature is always closer than we realize, especially in Florida. Even in familiar surroundings, danger can lurk just beneath the surface. After the attack, Richard made some changes. Gunner was no longer allowed to play off-leash near the water. Their walks became more cautious. The cost of this new routine was a small price to pay for peace of mind. Better safe than sorry, or, in this case, better safe than fighting another alligator with your bare hand. News of Richard's heroism spread rapidly. The entire encounter had been captured on a neighbor's outdoor camera. The footage, shocking in its intensity, quickly went viral online. People across the country watched in disbelief as an ordinary man risked his life to save his dog. Comments poured in from fellow Floridians, some expressing admiration, others incredulity. Many were awed by how Richard had kept his cigar clenched in his mouth during the entire rescue, as if unfazed by the life-and-death struggle unfolding in the water. The story sparked conversations about the hidden dangers of sharing space with wildlife, especially in regions like Florida, where alligators are part of the landscape. It also prompted a renewed discussion about the responsibility of pet owners to be vigilant, and about the deep, often unspoken bond between humans and their animals. Through it all, Richard remained humble. He knew he had taken a risk, one that could have ended very differently. But in that moment, the only thing that mattered was Gunner's life. It was not bravery for the sake of glory, it was love, pure and simple. As for Gunner, he became a local celebrity in his own right. Wherever he went, people stopped to say hello, to pet the little survivor, to marvel at the courage of both dog and owner. Gunner seemed to sense he was special, his eyes bright and his tail always wagging. For Richard, the scars on his hands are a reminder of that day, the day he dove into danger to save a friend. Looking back, he knows he would do it all over again. Some may call it reckless, but for Richard Wilbanks, love is always worth the risk. In the end, the alligator may have had sharp teeth and powerful jaws, but it was no match for the bond between a man and his dog. And for anyone watching the viral video or hearing their story, one thing became clear. In Florida, you do not mess with a man's best friend. Though we may admire Richard's bravery, it's always wise to respect wildlife and leave dangerous rescues to the professional. But on that Florida afternoon, when chaos erupted by the pond, one man proved that the love we have for our pets can make us do truly extraordinary things. And somewhere in Florida, Gunner is surely giving his hero extra kisses, grateful for the second chance at life.